Um, so let's see what we're doing. Yeah, so there's a because I did the solution just to make sure that I could do it, and then um, but the point is like I literally I grabbed the solution for Trip Planner Live, which as you remember is the one where um, you start updating the user interface. Like when you select something, it adds the marker and it flies to things. So that is entirely done with vanilla JS, right? And the goal is to turn that into a React version, which I did in the end here portion. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll just start talking about it. Okay, is there some music? Okay, so let's see. CD.
I thought that was a feature of your trip planner.
No.
Background music.
Okay, so I'm gonna open it up, and I actually have a README that just gives you everything. So just kind of reading through that would give you a lot of information. Here, you can just go on the GitHub and see it. So high level, right? Okay, so basically high level, we're gonna go first from no React to hello world on React. So kind of like strip out, everything from the original thing, but we'll preserve the code in sort of the client folder. So if you look at the folder right now, it's organized as client, which is the front end, and then server, which is the back end. And this is everything that you've done this before, right? And then public, which is the sort of stuff that Webpack builds, and as well as index HTML, right? You're on the solution.
Look at the start here.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, we're going to try and preserve the client folder because that's our reference, and then we're going to try and put our React stuff into a new folder that we're going to call browser.
I see.
Yeah. But eventually we're going to be able to just delete client. So and what else is relevant here? So that's section 0, I guess, gets you from no React to hello world, and then section A would be porting the old index.html to React, but has none of the clicking around and map making and markers and flying here and there. And then section B is porting the JavaScript. So I think that those are very easy ways to sort of progressively get deeper and deeper into React.
Yep.
So here, okay. So I guess I'm just going to do section 0 and A because those are very easy, and then this actually takes a bit more JavaScript.
Okay.
But it gives you an idea of how to set up React. So first thing is make sure everything is installing. So I do have to do npm install and run things.
Hold on, you're going to start on the start here section, right?
Yeah. I cloned my thing. I mean and this is nothing to do with React. This is just initiating everything from GitHub. And then so kind of going back to the instructions. This is the first part of what Dan talked about yesterday, which is configuring Webpack to compile React, or I guess transpile React. You right?
Yeah, I'm just in it.
Get in it, I guess. Okay. So I think it's running. So yeah, okay. Let's in fact have a look at this. So this is I just did npm install. I seeded the database and then I started the server. And this is
you seeded the database. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, the instructions are in there. Yeah, you can connect it.
That's weird though. It doesn't work for me.
Yes.
Not seed.
Yeah. You probably already have the seed from doing this project before.
Yeah, it's Planner. Trip Planner.
Yeah, so you don't need it. I was just setting it up from scratch. So.
How's the structure of the database? Are you dropping it all?
What?
Are you dropping the database and rebuilding it, or is this the exact same structure as the previous Trip Planner?
Yeah, it's the same structure.
Right,
so you can just continue. I'm just reminder of how it works. Like there's a drop down. This is given by an AJAX request, like a fetch request. and then you add things. It adds to the state, right? And then it adds the marker as well. So right now we're not gonna do any of that. we're only gonna turn this. We're gonna get rid of all this and just make sure that we can render something from React.
Got it.
And how do we do that? We are going to configure Webpack for React and Babel, and that's just we're gonna add this bunch of code to the loader in webpack.config.js.
So let's find Webpack config. There it is. Where's your code?
Exactly. And I found that I found that on Stack Overflow. It's one of the rules. Yeah. So you just chuck it in the rules array.
Just copy it into the array.
Yeah. Just make sure you put it in the right place. And no, you can't have trailing commas in the. Yeah. That should be okay. What do you have a bunch of underlines?
That's probably
Why
my
can't I see
lint.
the database?
Yeah, it's my own linter.
Oh, do you have your posticle running?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And what's your database called?
Trip
Trip Planner.
Then go back. What's your terminal saying? Oh, so you need to be inside one of the. You're not in any of the folders, so you need to be in the start here folder.
Okay.
Yeah. No. That's the end here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Doris wants to get to the end first.
Sometimes starting from the end is a good thing. You need to npm install because you installed the pack.
Oh, and the.
Yeah. We're doing things a little differently because the thing that you cloned has two projects.
Okay. got
Because I wanted to include the solution too. Okay. So I'm sure we'll wait a bit for Doris to catch up. So you don't need to see that because your posticle already has
it. Mhm.
the data. But you remember all this, right? Like it's JavaScript. You're adding.
We're just setting up Webpack for now.
I love like starting from a base of knowledge because like then I don't have to explain all the other stuff, which is harder to explain from scratch.
Let me just set this up.
What are you setting up? Okay,
Babel
sure.
and all that stuff
Yep.
that we did yesterday.
I think I have an empty one, so I might need to see it.
Sure.
What was your database called earlier, Doris?
Trip-Planner.
It wasn't on my computer. It was on my partner's.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's pretty quick. That's it.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just make sure you're running on localhost. Cool. Awesome. So now you configure Webpack by adding this rules, I guess. Like broadly, do you understand what the rules are in Webpack?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, actually, no, I don't.
So you have a bunch of you have Webpack, but then you have a bunch of helpers, and the helpers work on particular files. They don't know which file to work on unless you tell them to work on it. So every rule has a test, and the test looks at each file name, and if you pass a regex to it. If it matches, then that particular loader is going to work on it.
Got it. So it's got an exclude and include.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
a loader.
it's like don't touch no modules, but for everything else, if it says JS or JSX.
I see. And what does the options folder talk about? So we obviously did this yesterday, but I don't recall it.
That's for Babel to. That's you telling Babel, okay, transpile this down to ES 2015.
Wow. Thank you.
As well as use your React component to transpile React as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for all JSX, and then you can see from the old code we also have transpilers for SCSS, as well as PNGs and whatever, which we don't really touch. Okay, so that's configuring the config file, and then we have to npm install the Babel, essentially all the Babel stuff to dev dependencies and not normal
So we
dependencies.
need all these Babel.
Yeah. And that just matches what we configured on the config.
Yeah.
You can exit out of that. Okay. So we don't really need to npm start again because we know that this works. And then now we actually get to the point of installing React and React DOM. We install this as a dependency and not a dev dependency because we're going to use it live. Oh, yeah, you're zooming ahead.
No, just I'd used in the previous exercise I'd used my laptop, and hence I had the database set up, so I didn't have to do what Doris was doing.
Okay, cool. So that should be relatively quick, and then we're gonna make the browser folder. This is gonna be our new sort of Reactified version of the client folder. So you make that, and then you touch all the files that we're gonna eventually be filling out.
So the idea behind this is to replace each and every one of these previous files that were in the client folder with our React equivalents.
We're not replacing one for one. We're just replacing the functionality.
Right, so index main.
Yeah. So now it's very clear what component corresponds to which.
Yeah.
And you can if you have some issues or change to make to a particular component, you just find the file for it. So now you have an empty file. You have 5 empty files. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to fill out browser/index.js with the basic React and React DOM stuff. And I provided that. Yeah, this one you basically just memorize. Okay, so now you have an index.js, and remember this again. This should be very, very familiar because we did all this
yesterday.
Yeah. So now we're gonna rip out index.html. So go to public/index.html, mm-hmm. And then we're gonna rip everything out except for, and then we'll comment everything out, and then only leave one div with an ID of app or my app, I guess. Oh, I guess I have a mistake here.
So no, just
it's not here. It's not here. Just you're gonna add it. So comment everything out because we're gonna take those things and
everything inside body.
Yeah, inside the body. We're gonna take and replace that with divs. Yeah. So div ID equals. We just call it my app. Yeah. And then close the div. Okay, cool. So as you understand it right now, index.html is a very, very simple index.html mm-hmm. file. React, all that React does is it finds something called my app, and it's going to inject all its generated HTML into that div. Makes sense, right? Let's go. Yeah, my app. Yeah. So that was a mistake. Basically, because the source HTML has another thing called app, so I don't want it to conflict. All right. So step 5, we're going to switch to Webpack entry point. So Webpack config.js has an entry point, and that's where it starts to do all its requiring, like it says, all right, start here, and then everything that this requires, I'm gonna pull in, and then I'm gonna pull in their requires, and subsequently from there. So we're gonna call that the entry point instead of client index.js.
And we keep the styles the same for now.
Again, I have another mistake here. It's the entry point is browser/index.js, not main.js. Mm-hmm. I did these instructions and then I realized I had to refactor for the final solution.
Yesterday I had a question I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
All our React files that we started creating yesterday, and even here that you've helped us set up as our starting point, start with a capital letter. Why?
Because that's how React recognizes a component versus a normal HTML tag.
No, even the file names are in caps.
That's arbitrary.
Oh. You can have them in any.
Yeah, it's just convention. Like you don't think about it. As long as you're thinking about a component, it's capitalized.
I see.
Yeah. So you done with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you reload your server, you should have a basic hello world on your localhost. And if you don't, we'll try and figure that out.
Oh, I do have it.
Cool. All right. realized I forgot to do it for myself. So I'm recording a video of this as well.
React on each one. Yeah.
Does it work for both of you?
No.
Okay.
I
Can you
have a
figure out why?
blank. I'm looking at my HTML.
Yeah. All right.
There.
Well, you guys can struggle with it while I catch up.
So we're still using client style CSS for SCSS.
Yes. So again, we're not touching any of the back end. We're not touching any of the CSS, right? Because React is just a front end framework that helps you automate all the stuff that you're doing manually with document.getElementById, document.createElement, whatever. You should no longer have to do any of that. Let's see. What errors are you getting on your console logs? Target container is not the DOM element. Oh, can you make sure you have my app and app synchronized? So this should, if this is change this to my app, yeah. So you got it.
Yeah.
Yay! So you have a functioning React thing, right? That's great, right? Here's the tip, by the way. You can install on Chrome. You can install React DevTools. So just Google for React DevTools, and that gives you an indicator as to the internal state of stuff. So I'm going to show that to you. I'm actually surprised they didn't.
Is this similar to the regular DevTools kind of?
This one, Mango.
Yeah.
Magon.
Well, no, by Facebook. No, just space it out.
Yep, I see.
Okay. Hang on. Let me catch up because I've been talking too much. Let's see. Browser index.js. Browser. All right. So if I run my thing, I should get an NT hello world.
Interesting.
Right. So if you click React there, it shows you the generated HTML, but it's gonna get even more interesting in just a second.
What's it showing you?
It tells you with the props too.
I don't see it. I've installed it.
If you open your Chrome DevTools.
Yep.
And then go to the React tab.
Okay, that's the hello world. You see that in React? Have you installed it?
There.
No, that's not React DevTools. Where? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Where's React DevTools?
I installed the plugin.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe if you reload this. Did you have to reload your?
There it is.
Yeah.
I had to reload the page.
Right. Cool. Let's not look at that just yet because right now we're only focusing. So that's section 0 finished, right? Relatively easy. You understand every part of the process from like configuring Webpack to ripping out the HTML and putting in the thing to inject. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the exclude include loader options is just something that you get online, or?
Yes, I found it on Stack Overflow. I even put the link there if you wanted to read up on it. No one knows Webpack. But I do recommend Webpack Academy, Webpack.academy. That's literally the URL. And this guy, basically this guy who's on the core team of Webpack, actually wrote this tutorial for people because he understands that everyone doesn't understand Webpack, but they would like to actually get some useful help. And the Webpack documents are not that great. So this guy's really good. He's actually kind of like the lead advocate. Like everyone, he's basically synonymous with Webpack, even though there's a bigger team behind him. Okay, cool. So that's section 0. Yay! All right, section A. Even easier actually. Rip and replace HTML with React. Right. So we're gonna fill out the main.js with the basic components, component JavaScript. All right. So back to the instructions. I gave an idea of like what we're gonna do, and this should look very familiar to you, having looked at React importing the first time, and then also look at how we're filling out the state with hotels, restaurants, activities, and this is exactly how we do it in client index.js with state, hotels, and restaurants, activities.
Yeah.
Yep.
So essentially, they were secretly training you to use React even without React. And I found it pretty cool when I was doing this thing, because I was like, oh, I don't need React if I'm doing a simple thing. I can just put it in the app state in vanilla JavaScript. But there's some benefits that we're going to see later on. So let's get that into main.js. Where's main.js? Okay, boom. So once you have that in main, you're gonna need to require main into index.js, and then instead of hello world, you're gonna render main as the component. So if you can figure out how to do that on your own without looking, you will be learning React.
What are we calling this class?
There's no class name.
Yeah, it can be anonymous. They really don't care what you name it.
So how do you import it? Just with the file name?
Huh? So
Typically when we import
yeah, you
something
name
out-
it. Yeah, and I intentionally did that just to show you that it doesn't matter what you export it as. It just matters what you import it as. So it's exporting anonymously right now.
So we can just call it anything?
You can call it anything.
Oh.
Somebody's probably going to tell you that it's good practice to name it when you export, but I don't care. If you're exporting multiple things, it's important to name it, right? Because you're saying export default, then it's the primary thing you're exporting anyway. So you can name it whatever you want, really. So that's okay. So here you should still be seeing hello world on your screen.
My linter doesn't like the fact that you didn't give a class name.
Okay, then give a class name. I don't care. No, it comes after the class. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think there's special linters as well. And both of you are using VS Code. There's like special linters for Java for JS. I installed it at some point in the past. I don't remember which one it is, but as long as your linter doesn't complain too much, we can carry on. Okay, so navbar. We're gonna do navbar. So we're gonna
If you're running this.
yeah, basically copy and paste whatever you had in main.js without the state component and fill it out in navbar. Steal the HTML from your old index.html that you commented out, and render it. So the end state is you should be seeing a navbar.
So hold on just a quick question. Before we move to the navbar on main itself, we've imported main into index.js.
Yeah.
Well, where are we using it? In the past, we used it
Yeah.
with the command main.
Yeah, put that in arrow tags. You forgot the start tag.
What do you mean?
Start open. Oh.
I do have it. Right?
No, your eyes are tricky. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, so save that, and then you should still be able to see it.
Yeah. Yay!
Cool. Right, so
So we're copying and pasting.
just the navbar HTML, and you're gonna render it. Put it in the render function. Makes sense?
So we're making another component.
Yes.
Yeah, we're making a component
in
called
navbar.js.
navbar.
In fact, I'm not even copying. I'm just cutting from the index HTML because I know that I'm never gonna use it again. So. Yeah, that's not nice. Yeah, and you're gonna stick that. You're gonna render that, right? You're gonna return that as the result of render. Exactly.
Wonder why this guy's
How you doing?
doing so many issues. That's fine. I'm not having an issue. I'm just trying to figure out why my guy is.
Yeah, that's your linter.
Yeah, Control Shift.
Can you switch linters? I don't know if you can.
I'd like to because it's annoying the hell out of me. JavaScript babble.
Mine just says JavaScript. Can you click? Yeah, if you click on that, it should have some sort of drop down. How about on the left? Yeah. Okay. Type React. Yeah, JavaScript React. There you go. Does that work? No.
Expected this to be used in the class method render.
Yeah. No. We're not there yet. Okay. So whatever it is, it should still work.
Class name. Replace all the classes with class name.
How you doing? Good. Okay, so I can see that both of you are at the same spot. So if you save and run and render this right now, it's not going to show what you expect. So here's an important, I guess, like teaching moment. Huh? No, that was your old arrow.
Oh, okay.
Remember, you have Webpack on and it's watching your files. So every time you save, it's going to reload. So yeah. So if you see it now, you see the console logs. It's going to show you.
I am a little behind you guys. I was just fixing the class names now.
Oh, can I find module main? Why is that?
So it starts with. There you go. So we do.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, /main.js. Because the difference between importing a file and importing a library, and it's also you're rendering it instead of hello world. So the main component is kind of like your starting point for all your React components. The reason it's a separate file from index.js is because you sometimes want main component to have a state as well.
Remind me how you place multiple. You obviously render only takes 2 parameters. How do you? Oh, you put it inside an object. Okay.
What are you doing?
Putting an app bar.
Nope.
Nope. Why not?
You're gonna put that inside main. That's what main is for. Here, the only thing you're never gonna touch this again. You just have main.
Got it.
All right, save that and don't touch it again.
Got it.
Yeah, so inside main. So you have navbar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you fill it up already?
Yeah, I filled out navbar.
Okay, so you're gonna import. Import navbar into main, and then you're gonna insert that. No. Again, you're never gonna touch index.js. Right? You're only going to touch main. So you're going to import navbar into main and then render it inside that div. There you go. There you go.
And over here.
So the structure is a little convoluted, but it's kind of best practice in terms of organization of code. So if you put that in your div, you're going to see an error. And I'm going to tell you why.
It can only be one div?
No, put that inside your div. Yeah, so React, the render element only expects one top level DOM element, right?
Yeah.
So you try to put side by side, it's going to give you an error. So whenever you run into that, just put a div around 2 things that you're trying to render. Okay, so if you reload, you're gonna see something. It's not gonna have any of the CSS applied to it. Let's check out why in the console logs. Right. So it's a common issue when you're.
What do you mean it's not gonna?
Console. Go to the console. Oh, interesting. How come you? What did you do?
I just let my linter fix a few things.
Okay, good. Well, he has a very good linter, and
so
your linter is not very helpful. But basically, just replace class name with class. Doris, remember to use your shortcuts when you can. So Apple D is multi-select of everything that matches.
That I have to do manually. I wish my linter did that too.
No, this inbuilt in.
No. I meant I had to manually change all the classes into class names. I wish the linter changed that.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, I wish they just programmed for you, right?
That would be amazing. Come on.
So if you reload, because your Webpack should have recompiled for you, you should have the proper navbar. So the question is, why don't you have a proper navbar?
Without any console errors either.
Yeah. So let's see what's going on with you. Okay, that's fine. And then on going back to main.
I hate this linting thing, whatever this is.
So why do you have issues? don't understand. Here, let me play around.
I didn't have these linting
Get
issues
rid of the
yesterday.
state. I don't know what to say, man. Component should be written as a pure function. Well, shut up. Oh, you didn't copy enough of the index of the HTML. So this is also navbar.
Oh.
Yeah. You need to copy the rest of it. You're gonna want to just basically slice away at the index HTML until you got nothing left, and then just correct everything for class name. Well, how's it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fun thing about this is that you now never have to touch navbar again, because it's a sectioned off part of your code, and you can just treat it as a component that is just called navbar as far as main.js is concerned.
So is it common practice to have separate files for a single component?
Yes. You can put them in the same file. It just makes your file longer. So it's just a design decision. But
Perfect.
Essentially, it just makes it much easier to reuse your files if you're going to reuse it in another view. Okay, so that's navbar. Was a little more tricky than I expected. So we did that for navbar. Now we're going to do that for map. Map is a little Let's do all the HTML, but the map is also not going to render because it requires a JavaScript, if you remember. And you can delete that if you're done with it. So there's a clearfix div in the HTML that's going to be the parent of both map and panel. So I'm going to port that clearfix div over to main.js. If that makes sense. And map, so my map is just going to be div class map container something. Okay, that's map.js, and then we're gonna import that into map, into main.
You're a little further ahead, so hold on. What have you done here?
So I've taken out div
You've taken out the
ID.
div ID map. Div ID app.
So hang on. There's a thing. Say, look at the structure of this HTML,
1, 2,
right?
3,
Div ID app
2.
class equals clearfix. That's a parent of both the
everything.
map and the panel,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if it's going to be a parent of both, you're going to want to put that on the main.js main component, just that div alone, and it's going to wrap around your two components, map and panel. It's going to be under your navbar. There you go. So
Class name.
yeah, you're gonna keep getting tripped up by that until you until you remember. So again, the clearfix, you should take that out and put that in main.js. Okay, yeah, sure. So this internal bit, I want you to extract that and put that into map.js. Exactly. Careful where you cut. Yeah.
And then put map here. Okay,
Exactly.
got it.
Yeah. Same as with panel as well. We're going to do that to panel later.
Export default maps.
It just had it happen to me.
What is this issue? Unknown DOM property class. Where is class? Oh,
And I'm just gonna get rid of hello world. I don't need it anymore.
Name. Save. Hello world is gone. Save. Refresh.
You should have a line next where the column ends. So your map component should have class name map container. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Well, that's good. Yeah. And then in main. Oh yeah, you're not rendering map.
No, that is it.
No, you're not rendering map in main.
Where do you render map? I've actually imported it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
You think just importing it's going to do it for you? All right, Doris is on the right track. Okay, so why is the map not rendering?
We don't have.
We did not set our API keys correctly.
authorization.
Oh well, we can steal that from client index.js, right? But yeah, we haven't. We need to supply an authorization key, and we need to run some JavaScript, right, on the map. Right, so I've got client index.js over here, and you can see the way that we do it is we import require mapbox-gl, and then we give it mapbox-gl an access token, and then we're gonna run it on. We're gonna create a new map, and we're gonna put it in a container for map canvas. So this is you're starting to now have to integrate JavaScript into your React component. Which is map.js, right? You're familiar with working into Windows, in case you need to go back and forth.
Did we install mapbox.gl before? Or
yeah,
not?
yeah. Because you ran it before, so you know that you have everything you need without npm install. So if you're brave enough, it should be in map.js.
It should be in main.js for map. I see.
Trust me on this one.
Map.js.
So if you're brave enough, you can try and do it on your own. You only basically copying code over from index.js into map.js, but you have to think about where you put it. And I know the answer, so I'm just going to do it. But I expect you to have some issues here as well.
There.
Very cool. Your requires should be up top. That's fine. You don't need marker and attractions just yet. So let's do that later.
Okay, so just Mapbox.
Mm-hmm. How do you integrate it inside the HTML?
That's the question.
Curly braces, right?
Is it curly braces?
We did that
So
yesterday.
normally yes, that would be correct, but in this particular case, that's not correct because mapbox.gl.map is a function that injects itself into a DOM element called map canvas, right?
Yeah, so it has to be outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So return.
Yeah, just before return, you can try to do that. And man, this linter is not really helping you at all.
It doesn't do this. It didn't do this yesterday. So there's something in our base setup that I've got to check out.
Yeah.
Yesterday when I was doing React, it wasn't doing it.
You did.
Where does the function where they actually build?
That's it. That's the function.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so very few lines, but you need to know where to put them. So if you run that, you're gonna have an error, and
Stand corrected.
I need you to figure out why.
It's doing it here too.
Okay, so what is the error?
Canvas not found.
Yeah, let's figure it out later. So you and Doris are both at the same spot. So let's figure out why you're having this error.
Map canvas not found.
Right. Where's map canvas?
It's
does it
inside
mean
the
map
div.
dot Way to
Called
access it. Map.container.
No.
No.
So in usual cases, putting JavaScript there is completely fine, and that's actually the right place to put it. But in this case, mapboxgl.map is trying to look for a DOM element called map-canvas, and it's not finding it.
Oh, you put it. You can't put it after.
So my hint, I have a hint. I'm very proud of my hint in in my instructions. Is here. Look, if you try to stick mapboxgl.map into the render function, which both of you just did, you get an error because map canvas doesn't yet exist on first render. What is a good lifecycle hook to use to call JavaScript only after a component has rendered?
Oh, the will mount.
After.
Oh, did mount.
Did mount. There you go.
I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
Walking through it.
So add a function above render. Above. Yeah. It's called component did mount. So what lifecycle hooks are just predefined functions by React. They're going to look out for that, and if you define something, they're going to run your code.
Component.
Small c. Yeah, and then No, you're good.
In main?
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, not in main. Sorry,
Yeah.
in map.
So,
No, it's outside of render. So it's a first class citizen within the component object.
Component div mount.
Did.
Oh, it did.
Past tense. So let's review the life cycles, right?
I did not do this.
Sorry.
Or at least I don't remember this.
React life cycle. Here's all the. I swear I did this last night. Here are all the. What the hell is this? This is not the one I'm looking for. React life cycle diagram. Okay. Whoa. All of these images suck.
I was just confused when you would ever use component will mount because they just said that you just need to mount.
You want to pre-calculate some stuff before you show it. But so here's the I guess the entire flow of React. Jesus, I don't even know how to start. Okay, let's just say we start here. We're gonna get default props, which we're not gonna use yet. We're gonna get initial state, which we're not gonna use. I'm just gonna click on this. Okay, well, never mind. And then we're gonna call component will mount if you defined it.
Then render.
Then render, and then component did mount.
Nice.
So we needed to render.
The map, got that.
We needed to render map canvas, and then we call this to render on that thing that we just
Interesting.
created.
So I didn't get to this function. I didn't get to this part of the documentation yesterday, and we started the exercise.
Yeah. So it's fairly important to understand that these are all the hooks that are predefined.
And what are the other hooks?
And you can lean on those things as and when you need them.
Component.
In terms of the procedures in rendering.
Should component update? What does that mean? Oh, in case the component updates do something.
Yeah. Realistically, you're only going to need a few of them: component will mount, component did mount, and
Unmount?
component will unmount. Yeah, something like that. But they're all available for you. There's just some that are more used than others. So yeah, you stick that in component did mount. You don't have to worry too much, but you can see that there's a flow. When you create a thing, you run some function, you run some hooks, and then you render, and then you run some more hooks, right?
So when this creates a map, it goes here first.
It goes here first. It goes constructor first.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes to component will mount, which you did not specify, so it's just going to skip, and then it's going to go to render, like so create, and then goes to component will mount, and it's going to call render, and then it's going to call component did mount.
So right when it calls render, it doesn't run anything yet, and it goes to component did mount?
No, it calls render first, and it executes all this code. But here you're trying to do the cart before the horse, right? You're trying to call map canvas even before it's created. So you need to move this code into the code that is guaranteed to be after that.
Oh, so you move this part here.
No, just move this out. Exactly. Does that make sense now? So this will work. So render. So look at this. Look at this diagram. Render is going to come first, and then component did mount.
So it renders this first,
yes,
and it creates this,
and
then okay, I got it.
And component will mount. Just walk us through an example of where that would be used or how that would be used. So obviously you haven't rendered something yet.
You
so
want to pre-calculate. You want to pre-calculate something.
Pre-calculate, but it's not latching onto anything that's being rendered on the DOM yet. So how does the state get maintained? It stays that state, whatever is pre-calculated is actually accessible by the will mount or render.
Yeah,
I see.
And usually that's because you're passing it some props, and then it's transforming those props in some way.
I see.
Whatever. I personally haven't used it that much. So okay, cool. So if you refresh your localhost, you should be able to see a map.
I see a map.
What is this?
I think you'll eventually see a map.
Yeah. Okay.
Mismatch.
I don't know what that is. I think it's just a temporary error. Must be some. Sometimes Webpack screws up, so you need to kill it and then restart Webpack again.
Actually, mine died for some weird reason.
You look at which folder you're in. You're in the parent folder.
How did I manage to get to the parent
Yeah,
folder?
I don't have the error anymore.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. So you see, we're slowly refactoring everything into individual components. I'm just waiting for Ranjit to get up to speed. Okay. Cool. Now that's the map component, and we're almost done with section 1. So now we have to do the panel component. So try and do the same thing on your own and see how far you get. And panel is going to be a sibling component to map.
Most of map. Submit to panel.
I'm just doing it over here too. This should consume the rest of the HTML that you have not yet copied over from index.html.
Very confusing to see where the divs end.
Yeah.
To do that, you can uncomment and then collapse the divs in your code editor, and then just copy it out. It's usually pretty helpful that way. I just fell to my own mistake.
And you don't need Mapbox inside a panel.
I do not. Very good. Remember, you don't actually need to put .js there, just for future reference. It's a shortcut. Very good. Did you forget the class names?
Nope.
Nice. Oh, you forgot.
This is indexation.
Yeah, delete that. You you're gonna have 2 panels otherwise. Index
So are we done with the entire file?
Yeah.
So you can just delete the file?
No, you're not deleting the file.
Just
You're,
comment everything?
no. You're deleting this. You're still relying on this div to inject your React in there.
So
Nice. Okay, Ranjit's got it. Good. You learned React. No, but you now you fully understand. You've done it 3 times. All the component making.
Yeah.
You've even done a bit of lifecycle hooking, which is awesome. And I think Doris is pretty close. Yay! So that was sections 0 and A. How do you feel?
Pretty good, actually. I'm kind of glad we did this because the pre and post, I didn't get to the reading. The pre-reading, which explained the various React lifecycle.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that section of the reading, so I didn't know about the pre and post stuff.
I think I was just confused between will mount and did mount, but now I understand it.
Yeah, once you see the diagram, they're
Uh-huh.
pretty clear. Cool. I think